Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Nitish Kumar Upadhyay, and today we will be discussing about contemporary human rights challenges, and we will pick every day one of the human rights issue that is there and prevailing in our society. We will try to discuss all these one by one issues in detail. So today what we are selecting is related to human rights issues of trafficking victim. What is trafficking? We will find out the kinds of trafficking and especially trafficking for the purpose of marriage. So the basic objective of this course is to learn about basic human rights related to slavery and trafficking, to learn about human rights violation faced by bride trafficking victims. So we all know sex trafficking happens around the globe and 80% of the trafficking involves sexual exploitation of some or the other kind. About 2 million children are exploited annually in the global commercial sex trade. Sex trafficking is prevalent world around. As well as sex trafficking, there is also trafficking related to forced labor, which is also 14 million people are throughout the world are victim of forced labor exploitation. Over 2 million people annually are exploited by state or rival groups for purposes related to forced armed rebellion and armed war. 83% of domestic workers are women, and many of these are forced labors. If we talk about the other kind of trafficking, so there are 65.1% of all child domestic workers are below 14 years of age, which means that this is also violating the Child Labor Protection Act. Or trafficking for purpose of organ transfer. Harvesting organs, 1,000 illegal human organ purchase takes annually 10,000, which means that trafficking happens for organ transplant as well. Trafficking too related to marriage, trafficking related to bagging, trafficking related to jobs in camel jockeying and other industries. So one of the issue that we are taking today for this lecture is problem related to trafficking for the purpose of marriage, that we will also call as bride trafficking. So what is it? What is trafficking for the purpose of marriage? What is bride trafficking? Bride trafficking is a trafficking for the purpose of marriage or under the pretext of marriage, in which a trafficker traffics a woman or a child before or after marriage with the intent of exploitation. Exploitation, which includes forced prostitution, polyandry, rape before or after marriage, re-trafficking, abandonment, or other forced condition of life, which are examples such as slavery and servitude. Reasons why brides are trafficked. If you're talking in terms of the complete whole India, you will find that there are some of the states which are source and there is a state which is a destination. So when you're talking in terms of source area, usually all the poverty stricken states are source area like Bihar, Assam, Jharkhand, Sikkim. All these states are source area. So girls are trafficked from this place to the destination area, that is Haryana, Punjab. Why? What is the reason why this bride trafficking is taking place? First is poverty as a main reason for bride trafficking. So at the source side as well as at the destination side. How at the source side, if a family is poor and a person from Haryana reach the family and tell them that they will marry their daughter without taking any dowry, these poor stricken families have no other option, and better say this is one of the most lucrative offer they can get, to marry their daughter without any dowry, and they give hands of their daughter in marriage to the grooms, which sometimes are bogus marriages, sometimes there are middlemen and traffickers. Also, in Haryana, if a person is poor, no local person will like to marry his or her daughter to that person. So he is also forced because of poverty to buy a bride from other poverty stricken areas for the purpose of marriage. Land distribution and property ownership. This is one of the very weird reason which was told during the research on this topic, that there are many people who have land which is 5 acres or 10 acres, which is not very much. They say that if all their sons will marry a one woman, then the property will not be distributed in next generation. If there are jamidars, they'll stay jamidars. If the, all the sons marry different women, the number of offspring will be more and property will be divided into more parts. So this is one of the reason of buying a woman from other state and keeping her in polyandry, polyandrous marriage. Next is dowry affecting bride trafficking. Because of dowry, there are people in Haryana who cannot pay a lot of dowry, who cannot have a pomp and show for marriage. So they go and do a marriage in other poverty-stricken area. Same happens in poverty-stricken area. They do not have money to give dowry, and that's why they give their daughters in marriage to people from Haryana and Punjab. Female feticide and female infanticide. If you see the sex ratio of Haryana, you'll find around 823 women per 1,000 males. So definitely the sex ratio is less, and because of this sex ratio, there is a huge demand of women from other states. So when you do not have women, you do not have girls to marry, you are supposed to buy them from other state for the purpose of marriage. Next is rising level in women education. So when a woman is educated, when she is well educated in Haryana, she will not marry an uneducated boy from Haryana. She will not marry a person who is landlord but who is uneducated. So she will marry somewhere outside the state, which also reduce the number of marriageable girls in Haryana. Marriage restrictions. So there are various marriage restrictions on the basis of caste and religion. And Khap Panchayat is also involved in many a times. We have seen news. Khap Panchayat is many a times involved in honor killing and all. So because of these marriage restriction of gotras and caste and all, there are less number of suitable bride as well as, if you say, grooms in Haryana for each other. Quest for cheap labor. These women work in field. If you want a person, laborer, to work in your field for a year, you have to pay at least 35 to 40,000 rupees in a year for the purpose of work. But if you buy a woman in marriage, she will work in the same price throughout year. So you buy a woman in 30,000 and 40,000, and you have with you, she will be satisfying your sexual urge also, procuring childs as well, taking care of household, and she'll also be working as a cheap labor in fields. So this is a good business. Next is bride trafficking as a profitable business, because unlike the other kind of trafficking, in this kind of trafficking, you can traffic a victim more than once. And if you buy a woman from a poverty-stricken area, let's take you purchase a woman in 20,000 rupees, then you use her services for 6 months, and then still you can sell her for 25,000 or 20,000 rupees again. So you have no loss in this business. Furthermore, the chances of being caught is less, because whole this trafficking for the purpose of marriage goes under the head of lawful marriages or interstate marriages. What are the problems faced by these trafficked brides? Rape and other sexual violences. So they are raped not just by the traffickers, middlemen, but they are also raped by their so-called husbands and brothers and other relatives of the husbands. So rape is one of the very crime which is done against the trafficked brides. Next is polyandry. These women are forced to stay in a polyandrous relationship with multiple men of a same family, so that they can procure a child and their property do not get distributed. And polyandry is also violating their rights. Sometimes they don't even know to whom actually they have were legally married and how many people are actually having sexual access to her. Frequently divorced, re-traffic and abandoned. These women are used as use and throw material, so they are frequently divorced. Sometimes they are being just bought or purchased for a purpose. So let's take a person in Haryana is having a wife from Haryana, but that wife is not able to deliver a child. The men will buy a girl from poverty-stricken area. When the girl will deliver the child, after delivery, he will keep the child and sell the girl or divorce the girl. So basically, he's doing re-trafficking. And sometimes these women, once they are old, they are not able to satisfy the sexual urge, as well as they are not able to work as cheap labor in fields. They are abandoned. Next problem, human rights issue that they face is forced pregnancy and forced abortion because they have no choice to select these rights. Sometimes they are being just used as child producing machines. They have no rights on their own bodies. So this is also one of the grave violation of human rights of these trafficked brides. Next is chained identity or no identity proof of bride trafficking survivors or bride trafficking victims. There is no identity proof. Also, what happened so that nobody can catch the family which have purchased the woman. They get the woman Aadhaar card and voter ID card on a different name than her actual name so that nobody is able to trace her, neither police, neither her family. And because of which, most of the time, they do not have any identity proofs. And sometimes these government schemes that are there, they require identity proof, and these women trafficking or bride trafficking victims are not able to take benefit of these government schemes. Indignified life and discrimination, they are being called with different names like Paro and Molki in Haryana. Molki means something that you have purchased. So these women are called by that name. Their childs are also called by name of a child of a Paro or a child of a Molki in that way. So they are living an undignified life and they face constant discrimination. If you enter a family which is having two women, one from Haryana as a bride, another from a poverty stricken area which is a traffic victim, you can, after looking at them, you can very easily find out which one is a local and which one is a trafficked bride. They are discriminated at all points, not just in the society but in the family as well, and also at the time of property distribution their child may not get property rights. Next is no right to practice religion because when they are purchased, they are supposed to follow the religion of the person who has purchased them. They have no right to profess their own religion. And this is one state where you will find that there are a lot of marriage restriction on the basis of gotras, on the basis of caste. But when it is about a trafficked bride, they don't even look forward for religion. So a Hindu family buying a Muslim woman, a Muslim family buying a Hindu woman, this is very common. And during one of the researches have been proved that there is a lot of women, around 20 to 30% of the women who have changed their religion because the purchasers or the people who have purchased them in marriage are from a different religion. Restriction on freedom of movement. This is done to secure and to protect themselves. So the purchaser family do not want this bride, this woman to have a free movement and freedom to movement, because if she has a freedom to movement, she may go and report, she may run away. So they'll lose money. So there's also a kind of a slavery that she is staying in. When you are talking in terms of law, you are talking in terms of jurisprudence of law or jurisprudence of human rights, where you will fix this problem, bride trafficking. Whether it's a normal trafficking, the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act only talks about that trafficking happens for immoral purposes, for commercial sex work. It does not talk about trafficking for any other purpose. There is a bill, trafficking bill, which talks about trafficking for the purpose of marriage, but the bill is not passed yet. There is no law related to slavery in India. If you look at these people, you will find that they live in a slavery-like condition and they could be treated as slaves. They have no right to move, they have no right to profess religion, they are frequently violated emotionally, mentally, and sexually. So we have to understand jurisprudence, we have to read the law as well, whether we are able to extend any protection to these women? The answer is no, because our law is incapable in extending protection. Many a times when these women run away from their matrimonial home or from the clutches of so-called husband and his family, and they reach to the police, police says that this is a matrimonial dispute. They call the purchaser's husband again, and that person will come and take the wife back. Also, in one of the case, she was killed by the family because she was not giving to the demands of the purchaser husband. So we had to see this human right issue of bride trafficking victim as a whole. We need to find out in what thing we can place them. Are there legitimate marriages? No, they are not legitimate set of marriages because consent is not there. They are being forced. Their human rights are being violated. And sometimes there is no formal marriage ceremony that is there. There is no marriage that have taken place. Can we take them in slavery? It's become a little tough to define it. Slavery Convention talks about it, and definitely it says that if you have a right on a person to sell him, then you can say that other person is your slave. So definitely here you can sell your wife, you can re-traffic. So they stay in a something related to trafficking or something related to slavery, not just a trafficking. So these are some of the suggestions and recommendations by which we can improve the situations of trafficking brides. The first is training of police officers, because police officers, if they are not knowing about that there are these kind of marriages which is illegal, they are not allowed, they are trafficking victims, they are trafficking survivors, then they'll not be able to extend their support to these people. The human rights protection of the trafficked brides will never happen. So first you need to have training of police officers to make them realize that this is trafficking. There is a trafficking. If you talk about the essentials of trafficking, trafficking involves transfer of one person from other place for the purpose of exploitation. These women are definitely exploited. This is not a normal matrimonial relationship. So police, when trained about this, can extend a better support to the trafficked victims. Next suggestions, creation of community-based self-help groups. There is an NGO called Empower People. It have helped creation of self-help group of these trafficked brides. So they help each other in understanding their problems, sharing their issues, and also trying to reduce the number of trafficking brides coming to state of Haryana. These women also require some kind of psychological support, economic support definitely. They do not have any economic support, and because of the economic support, they sometimes stay in such wedlock, which is forced, which is trafficking, which is a kind of a slavery. So you need to give psychological and economic support to these women. We can also help them in creation of Aadhaar card, voter ID card, and other cards by which they can get support from government schemes. They can use and enjoy government schemes. Education for children, we could work on some kind of education for their children so that they are not into poverty or poverty situation, even if they are being abandoned by their purchaser family, who have not purchased them, but they purchased their mothers. Awareness related to provision of maintenance can be discussed so that women know that if they're divorced, they have right to maintenance, they are not vulnerable. If they are being exploited, they are being domestic violence is taking place against them, they can seek this remedy. So overall, if you talk about this particular provision of law is not very clear about bride trafficking. There is no specified definition of bride trafficking. Immoral Traffic Prevention Act does not define it. The bills define it, but the bill is still not passed of 2018. In terms of extended supports to the trafficking victims for the purpose of marriage, we have various suggestions which we can take and empower them socially, economically, and politically, because of which the trafficking will reduce. So this is one problem that we are discussing. In the next class, we'll be discussing about another problem related to female feticide and gender inequality. So with the trafficking, bride trafficking, to summarize, trafficking happens for purpose of exploitation when one person is trafficked from one place to other for purpose of exploitation. Trafficking can happen for sex trafficking, can happen for forced labor, can happen for organ transplant, can happen for purpose of marriage, can happen for slavery and servitude, can happen for crimes or bagging, can happen for camel jockeying. So these are some of the types of trafficking that could happen. Immoral Traffic Prevention Act only talks about trafficking happening for the purpose of sexual work. So with this, thank you very much.